A beautiful morning to you, our dearest viewers, and welcome to Ray's Breakfast. Hashtag What Are You Saying? Where vibrant voices take over present conversation as it concerns us all. And it's with great pleasure I'll be serving as anchor for today. My name is Oluchi Omenka, and of course, I do not write solo. Let me introduce to you my co-anchor for today's show. I have with me the Lady Vibe, God's Beauty Israel, and Okikiola Taiwo Jalupo. Girl Vibe.
Hi,
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Breathe in and breathe out, everybody. Let's breathe in together.
I think it's actually very needed.
Breathe out. Because
Yes.
January is almost over. The January we thought we would not survive is almost over. But how are you feeling, though? How do you feel with the last week of the month, January? January comes with a lot of questions, a lot of crews. Honestly, if you check social media, you see different content of people saying, oh, January is this, January is that. People are setting their goals, resolutions. People are getting financially burdened. A lot of things. But how do you feel that it's the last week of January? Do you think January was fast, or
Yes,
you just
this is
survived
like
through it all?
I don't know about every other person, but this is like the fastest January that a lot of people will say that they have experienced. Personally, January is just January to me. I can't wait for the next January. So that's what, I think that's what always happens to me. When January is over, I'm like, yeah, 1 month down. Now to the next one. And I always like when February is just 28 days. I don't like it when it's 29.
What was it this year? Are we on a leap year? What did they call
No,
that?
I don't think it's a leap year.
So it's 28 days?
Yes, it's 28
Okay.
days.
Sorry
So,
for those that are born on the 29th. How
5 years to come.
How about you guys, Beauty? How do you feel? The last week of the month.
I think it's just there. I don't see the January to be too fast or too slow. I think it's just
just
the way
there.
Yeah, it's
Just
just there
going.
for me.
Same here. Honestly, I don't know how I feel this morning. I won't say my energy level is low.
Mine
but
is low, actually.
It's
I'm
low?
going to say, yeah.
What's the cause of it?
No, not really. Nothing personal. Nothing
It's
very
just
serious.
one of those things.
But I've not just been feeling the week, and that's it.
Please
Yeah,
don't. Are you the one
I'm
passing
like-
this energy to me? Complete sense.
I don't understand.
I'm feeling
Yesterday,
what
I don't think yesterday morning was like this on this table. So
It
I
was
mean,
like-
things happen.
I think
so.
the same thing. On this
wasn't
table
like
this
this.
morning, guys. We're humans. Let me just say, on this table this morning, we are humans.
I'm trying to let you know that it's not all the time we're smiling, and maybe the topic of today also has this undertone to make us feel this way, because the topic is quite devastating and it has
Yeah,
caused a
I
lot of
think I would
buzzing
agree.
online. Reading through everything everybody's saying,
Watching
that
videos,
alone,
old, new.
exactly, that alone can make you feel, is this what this world is about?
I mean,
All right, but we're going to bring the energy to you. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you're here to subscribe to our YouTube channel, head on now to the official Upgrade TV, click the subscribe button, turn on your notification, and always be part of our conversation. Today, we're going to be discussing something that's really trending. It's Tuesday, and social media has been buzzing with the latest trending story of Nigerian popular singer Two-Face Idibias and the announcement of his divorce to wife Annie Idibias. And we'd love to dissect this particular tale and draw lessons from there. Remember, you are the main ingredient in this conversation. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Our phone lines are open. Please call us on 07025007749 or 07014242420. Now let's take this short break. When we return, we'll look to the top stories across the globe. Stay with us. We'll be right back shortly. Sure, glad to have you back from that break. Now let's take a look at the news from the pages of today's newspaper. Today would highlight the top stories from The Guardian, The Daily Trust, and of course the international papers. Let's start with The Guardian newspaper.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Taking you through the Guardian newspaper, the headline reads, Trump's presidency, U.S. aid suspension may cost Nigeria $1 billion in health funding and others yearly. Below that, we also have Shettima blames democratic failure in Africa on complex pressures. EU tells ECOWAS find new ways to coexist in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Another story here reads, road crashes claim 5,421 lives in 2024. up by 7%. And here we have Obi saying that 2027, more hurdles for opposition as Obi rejects coalition, PDP crisis deepens. The last but not the least story here reads, how Oni prevailed on Babalola to drop defamation case against Farotimi. Well, that's a new update. I don't think that I had...
Yeah, I did read it yesterday.
So that makes a lot of sense. At least now Farotimi can be free. I'm not sure maybe it's in the way that he would have chosen to be free because he said he was innocent of whatever charges that was...
What was the intention behind him dropping the charges?
According to what I read, it was something around Oni of Ife coming to plead that, more like just tradition, whatever. But I feel like
traditional rulers came to plead, and then
that's
like,
what I was saying. I'm not sure that it's in the way that maybe Nigerians would have expected that the whole case would go. Because how did the Oni of Ife now come? Came, begged. So if it's, I think I will agree with the traditional thing because Afe Babalola is like an elder, not just as a son, but even in terms of...
The comments I was reading on that stuff was so funny. Someone was like, he's painting the story of, the elders coming to just pamper you and saying, just let it go, let it go.
That's exactly
and then the person that was trying to advocate for something is now seen as the troublemaker.
Exactly.
Someone was now saying, next time you know how to control yourself.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. I'm not sure. I'm not sure the case was handled the way we would expect to be, to be freed.
But that's typical of any Nigerian case, honestly. They come with the rush. We're like, oh, this is going to bring out the truth and everything. But after a bit of shenanigans and back and forth, what happens is everything there's reconciliation quickly.
The case, I wonder if he would choose to go home or would be like, no, I will stay here until you finish this case. No, yes.
If it's you will stay.
Well, this is another story that caught my attention here. The fact that road crashes claim 5,421 lives in 2024. And this is not to say the story that I've read. I think this is really underreported because I personally have seen like accidents way more than, I think throughout 2024, almost every month I saw one accident or the other. From car crashes to overspeeding to brake failure to oil spillage and all of that. So I think that this is one very sad story, and then saying that it's up by 7%. I don't know what 2025 is going to bring, but I pray that the Lord God,
and please stay safe,
renders us safety, yes,
Amen.
for the year 2025.
All right, let's fly to the international papers.
All right, let me quickly guide you, for the Guardian international paper. We have here on the main story, Trump accused of ethnic cleansing over call for Palestinians to create Gaza. Above the masthead, tennis Sina Downs were river to win third Grand Slam. Left side of the masthead, I am an old ball, and that's set by Cynthia. Bottom section, we have Rakulim. Survivors tell their stories 80 years on. Rakulim has Reeves' hints at backing third hit throw run away. Now, the headline I want to quickly touch on is the one that we have on the main story that says Trump accused the ethnic cleansing over call for Palestinians to quit Gaza. So in detail, it has here Donald Trump suggested that Palestinians should leave Gaza entirely, claiming it would help eliminate threats in the region. Critics have called this idea ethnic cleansing because it implies forcibly removing an entire group of people from their homes. Now, this is a big deal because humanitarian crisis, we have millions of Palestinians, that's over 20 million people. Palestinians will be displaced, worsening their already difficult lives. We have that it could damage the United States relationship with the Middle Eastern and international allies who are against such proposal. Then lastly, to be forcing people out of their homes like this is considered illegal under the international human rights law. So why this is actually more concerning, or why it worries people, is because one, it will lead to more violence and suffering in the region, disrupt peace talks between Israel and the Palestinians, then create a precedent for ignoring human rights, leaving innocent families vulnerable. In as much as I like what Trump is actually stating here, that, okay, you know that, Gaza actually shares border with the likes of the Egypt, shares border with the likes of the Israelis and all. And you know how this fight has always been. Now that they are in the negotiation process, Trump is saying that, okay, it's important for the Palestinians to just leave Gaza, at least for, for this time then where they are still negotiating. But again, like I said, in as much as I like the idea or the advice, I would say that if you are telling somebody to do a certain thing, I think you should also help them with where they would stay. If you ask them to leave their homes, where do they go to? Do you get what I'm saying? And that's why they are seeing it as ethical cleansing, because, I mean, it's not looking very right to them. If these people leave their homes now, where would they go to? So I just feel like, in as much as he wants to, this advice is actually very good, because given that, there's still a bit of fight, they're negotiating. Just yesterday, I mean, we're talking about the fact that I think about 200 Israelis or so were actually released from the Hamas and all. So it's really like good news. But again, where would they stay if they leave their home? So I think Trump should just come to their aid. So in as much as you are giving them this advice, also look for a better place where they can stay for the meantime. And that's all I have for you for the Guardian newspaper.
All right, thank you. Let's look through the daily trusts. Well, back to our dear country. The major headline reads article, Nigeria on verge of losing democracy. Government offering opposition 50 million naira. Parties must unite to save democracy, says El Rufai. Power not given but fought for, says Amechi. Shetima, democracy despite flaws is best. What federal government must do to make currency swap with China work? Afe Babalola withdraws case against Farotimi. Hamas rejects Trump's relocation proposal for Palestinians. Gunmen invade Abuja community, kidnap man, wife, son, and 2 others. Above that, we see 2025 AFCON. Nigeria draw Tunisia, Tanzania, Uganda in Group C. Nigeria has money to fund Tinubu's foreign trip, says Minister. I feed from renting out my house in Kaduna, says Buhari. And trust me, that is the one that really got me excited. I'm like, really? Is this what's happening to our former governors? Let me read the full story based on the quote that he said for the meeting that they held. It says, former President Muhammadu Buhari says, after serving 2 terms as Nigeria's #1 citizen, he relies on one of his houses in Kaduna State to raise money for feeding. Speaking at the All Progressive Congress APC caucus meeting held at the Presidential Banquet Hall of the Government House, Katsina State, Buhari said he did not enrich himself through corruption while in power. He said that most Nigerians were unaware of the administrative challenges involved in governing. Hence, they blamed the leaders without knowing that Nigeria is a difficult country to govern. Nigeria is a difficult country to govern, but most Nigerians are unaware. You will not understand the complexities of leadership and the country itself until you find yourself in the administrative position of the country. So this is a very interesting story, right? Because, I mean, before president now was, came to power and is currently leading this administration, I think President Muhammadu Buhari, former President Muhammadu Buhari, did face a lot of criticism and backlash with his administration. But I'm not sure I did hear a lot of comments about corruption and bribery and looting of funds in that sense. I think what I used to hear then was mostly on his administration not just being productive or making headway. Do you get it? But I didn't hear most things about maybe he looted something or he's traveling up and down or he's buying one new thing. I didn't hear. And here he's telling us that you guys have left power. I'm feeding from my houses in Katsina. But the last comment is something to reckon with. He says that most Nigerians would not know the complexities it takes to lead a nation until they find themselves there. And it's making me realize that, is that something to look at with another eye? I know that we're very critical of our nation, but is there something, are there things that go on that we're not so aware of? Because if an administrative leader, the head, can say this when he was leading, does it mean that he didn't have... Of course, we know that we always say that sometimes when these people are in power, they do not have the absolute control to make all the decisions that they want themselves. And a lot of things underneath influence their decisions and all of that. And I was looking at this news and it did seem like, should we give them the benefit of the doubt? How should we now perceive the administration? Should we be calmer with our criticism? Should we watch things grow and become better? Or we should still be critical? It's a question I'll leave you to answer. All right, this is where we draw the curtains on the headline stories across the globe. We'll take a short break. When we return, we'll head straight to the hot topic for today. I am sure that this topic is not news to any one of us because if you're on social media, you would have heard of the recent divorce announcement of Two-Face Idibias and Anne. All right, we'll take this short break and we'll start with our hot topic. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Is a season of love. In partnership with Yasin, Heartlines will be giving away 4 luxurious, beautiful gifts to 4 lucky women. So stay tuned to the show to find out how you can win these incredible, luxurious gifts. And yes, gentlemen, you can participate to win on behalf of your better half, because truly, love is in the air. So catch me live Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. on Heartlines.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we will bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we will analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Welcome back and thank you for sticking with us. So today's topic, we're trying to get lessons from the Idibias story. The announcement of Nigerian Afrobeat legend Two-Face Idibia and his wife Annie Idibia's divorce has sparked widespread reaction across social media and beyond. Their story, once a symbol of resilience amidst challenges, has now become a subject of debate around love, loyalty, and sacrifices in relationships. This situation has reignited conversations on gender dynamics, emotional investment, and societal expectations within marriages, particularly in the African context. Is love ever truly enough to sustain a relationship? Should women endure hardship for love? Or is it time to redefine the narrative of suffering for love? As we dissect the Idibia story today, we aim to move beyond the headlines to discuss the societal pressure, personal sacrifices, and lessons we can learn from their experience. All right, ladies, I want to say gentlemen, but we don't have any here. But this is a very, very interesting story to start with. I think I just even heard of the story yesterday fully, and I don't know how long it's been on the internet. Do you have an idea how
No,
long?
I think it got out, I think, on Sunday, because
Yeah.
I follow our favorite online doctor, and it seems to...
Our favorite or your favorite?
No, that's what that's
Oh,
his name,
okay.
our favorite online
I
doctor.
like that. I like
So I saw the story, the thing popped up on my notifications, and I was like, who are these guys again? What happened to them? And then I saw the divorce case thing where Two-Face was talking about his account not being hacked, and then he said what he said, and that's
Came
on
out with it.
period.
We have some videos that we're going to play later, but let's start the conversation proper. You know, the Idibias story has always been viewed as a tale of resilience, right? And what does their divorce actually reveal about public couples in that sense, and what it means to be in the limelight all the time, especially with your relationship that can either influence or change people's narrative about love? I'll give you this particular quote I saw on Solomon Buchi's page. Solomon Buchi said that it is very sad. I'm sure you came across it. That's why you're chuckling. He said it is very sad to see that people are giving up on love just because they saw Two-Face and Anne are about to get a divorce. In fact, one of my friends on her status, she's serving right now. She put on her status that I'm just coming online to see this. In fact, I'm so pissed. So this particular story is not just what they're going through right now. It's the fact that it is getting some of us pissed, some of us agitated, maybe because we draw our lessons or love narratives from these public couples. So what do you think? How do you think, you know, this divorce reveals or shapes how people view love? We've had something like this before on this table,
Yes.
public perception of love.
So I think that for me personally, I've never really looked at maybe public couples, especially as lessons or as my guide to whether I want to have a good relationship or not. It has always been like an inward thing for me. I'm looking more at my parents. I'm looking more at close friends, like people that are within reach. That's where I draw my lessons from, because public couples always have to put on some type of facade or some. They have to
wear
look
a certain kind of garments and all.
some way, in some type of way. You cannot. Your hair cannot be scattered in the morning. You have to first do eyebrows, and before you now say, "I woke up like this." All those things. So I really
I'm sorry to cut you short. There was this very annoying, not annoying, but very random contrast that people put up on social media when Donald Trump was coming into office again. So they did a contrast of him in 2017 when he was going into the White House with his wife, and he was nonchalant with his wife by his side. He didn't pay attention to her. He didn't hold her hands. He was just walking. It was almost like they had a fight before coming there.
Yeah.
And then in 2025, they now showed us another contrast of him walking, waiting for his wife, and doing the whole lovey-dovey. So it's just to further prove that there is this font that they put out so that you can see how things are going. Please go ahead.
But then look at 2015. He did not think that was like a part of his journey, like showing some level of love.
Yeah.
The way our president now, when he wants to talk about his wife, it's all lovey-dovey. We've been coming from back now, like here. And so I always try to take out public couples out of my idea
Perception
of what
love
should
should
look
be.
like. I just feel like these guys are just surviving the best way that they could when it comes to satisfying online in-laws. You get so I don't think about
I remember someone once said that this is for Adeswa Etomi and Banking W now. He said, if I ever see them break up, I have given up on love. I'm
For
like,
real.
because they have their issues where they're not
mean,
even telling you about.
that's
asking
true.
that your parents, have they broken up? So you did not see examples of love from your parents, church members, mosque members. It's from online people because they paint this perfect thing of, oh, we're in
No,
love.
I think one thing I would say that a lot of people take these lessons from these people is because if you really look back at it, some people's homes are not perfect.
True.
I agree.
I saw one interview where she was talking about how her mom was the one that raised them herself. Her mom and her dad are separated. So I feel like that's also one of the reasons why she decided that regardless of everything that this man is doing, regardless of what he does, I'm going to be the one to stay. Do you understand? That's like another side of it that when I was listening to her talk.
Daddy issues. Having daddy issues. That's
When
what
I
it
was
is.
listening to
You know
her,
that
talk,
I'm very careful
sometimes
with
When you
terms
see
like
stories,
that.
I'm sorry, but when you see stories like this, I mean, most of the times that's what happened. You see, yeah, because give me a reason why a woman would actually want to stay with a man that you know that, I mean, this person is not good enough for you. Even before, I mean, if you check the story,
Beauty, I want to.
Let's
you
hear
want
what
to
God's
disagree.
beauty- let's
I
hear
like
what
it.
God's
Yes,
beauty has to
I want
say
to
first.
disagree with you
Tell me,
because
bring it up.
this lady said this is the love of her life. So telling us that the person is not good enough for her is like you are putting up a standard
For
that
what
you-
should be good enough
for
her.
another
No,
person.
no, that's not it.
So
That's
it might
not
be
it.
good enough for her. Just say that maybe she thinks that person is good enough for her.
Exactly. That is what it is. So it's just you using English, literally. But but with the story, I mean, with the storyline, everything we've seen so far, question is that person good enough for her? Exactly.
According to her, maybe
According
yes.
to her, because of the issues she
But
had.
are we
Maybe it's not
online in-laws
mentally
will
stable.
say it's not good for her?
I think I agree with what Kiki is saying here. And let me tell you why. You cannot tell somebody what you think would be good
No,
enough for
you're
them.
probably not getting the point.
But that's the actual truth. This one
Okay.
is without sentiment.
Okay.
You can't tell somebody what will be good enough for them. We have
Of
societal
course,
standard
of
of what
course.
should be good, things not to tolerate in relationship. But some people, I usually say this, that I don't think human beings are so oblivious of certain wrong and right. If you choose to stay there, it's because you want to stay there.
You've
You like
seen
it, and it aligns with your values or your personality. So when people now come out, that's why I really refrain from giving people advice or trying to put my mouth or meddle into things, because I believe that human beings know what to do if they want to do them. So not good for her might not be the right statement I would have loved to use, because she's no child. I mean, she knows what she wants, and she stayed there through how many years now? I was reading something that said she's been with him since she was 15.
Yes.
Wow.
Now,
is
this is
true
this
love.
is
Yeah,
this is
I
this
don't
is
know
it
what
here.
I was doing.
Oh no.
15, I was like,
let me ask you people this.
Please do.
All the people that have come out that you've seen have issues with their relationship, and you somehow narrow it down to the fact that they have daddy daddy issues. How do they turn out? What's their behavior like? So, in as much as I get
They
to
are
people,
really obsessed many times with the partners that they have.
because that fatherly love that they are supposed to actually get from initials, they will not start seeing it in that in the man that is with them. So even when every other person is saying that this person is not good for you, they are actually seeing this person as, I mean, honestly speaking, I feel like to some level they actually know that this person is not good for them. But is that fear of who else will love me the way this person is loving me? Since my father was not even there in the first place.
That's
That is
what
what
I'm
I am
saying.
saying.
That she could have also chosen the fact that her mom did not have a dad. Or, sorry, her mom did not have a husband. They got separated. So, it's an African thing
But
that
do
always
you
happens.
know
When they
that-
say, if this thing ends, mine will not be the one to
The-
crash. I'm the one that's going to
I'm the
break the
1%.
cost. I'm the one that is going to start it because of my kids, because of myself. Maybe she even, I don't know if she has siblings.
Sorry.
She could also
Sorry.
say that for her siblings, maybe she wanted to lay an example for them. So I feel like beyond what the social media is saying about a cheating person and the person that was a fool in love and both of them coming
A fool in
together,
love.
being...
Honestly, social media is not the place
No,
to
that's
put
what
your
they were
life.
No, I
saying.
get it.
So it's almost like the combo of that is like, we still don't know what went on backstage. I saw a video where she was screaming, she was on the top of her lungs, that
Yeah.
they were fine, things were
Sorry,
happening.
love.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm not feeling my best.
Apologies, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I'm still here. So it was just like a lot of issues back and forth for her. What I really want to know is what happened to them. Beyond his cheating, which you already knew, beyond his funny comments online, what else
Happened.
Please permit me to...
Yeah, sorry
Pause a
about
bit.
that. I think we should take this very short break. We'll come back with more comments from our co-anchors and myself as regards this particular story. Stay with us, we'll be right back shortly.
Looking to take your business to the next level through partnerships? Then Join us every Thursday at 10 a.m. for Partner Up.
Whether you're an entrepreneur, marketing, sales, or partnership professional, Partner Up is here to give you the tools you need to succeed.
From in-depth interviews with industry experts
To real-world case studies of successful partnership strategies that drive innovation and business growth.
we dive deep into what it takes to form successful partnerships.
Thursdays, 10 a.m.
Don't miss Partner Up.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Before you judge Two-Face, before you judge Annie, listen to this. 3 years ago, Facebook Premium Times, Annie Macaulay's brother attacks Two Baba's mom. Brother. 2021, September, Annie pours Two-Face food, wine, may stab him to death. Charles Idibias. This was on Idoma Voice newspaper. 2021, September, Linda Ikeji blog, Two Baba's unusual silence while his younger brother exchanged words. 2021, September, Annie stabs Two-Face while asleep, locks doors against mother-in-law. 2021, September, you have no respect for your husband. Two-Face brother slams Annie Idibias. 2021, November, Tribune Online. I'm sorry I broke your heart. Annie Idibias apologizes to Two-Face. If you really love Two-Face and you truly love Annie, you will say a prayer for them. Divorce does not mean they are enemies. They can still be very good friends. Trust me. D1 here, shalom, my people.
Interesting. So he says divorce doesn't mean that you're enemies, but you can still be good people. Now, a lot of people have been bashing Two-Face with the whole story. People are coming for him, that he's the bad guy. We've even had some celebrities come out to say that they are coming for him. Let me read what I found on Diary of a Niger Girl and Remy Njoko. Mary Remy Njoko, she said that, bro, Annie has a family. Oh. Your sisters-in-law are many, and we have stayed quiet out of respect for her tough choices. But since you've decided to humiliate her at her lowest, no wahala. It's your choice. Just make sure she's healthy and okay. Because when the time comes, we'll have plenty of questions for you. And then Diary of a Niger Girl, Ife said, first, they groom you. Then you lose yourself. Then they dump you. I'm so angry. I never involve myself with things like this, but this is a disgusting behavior by this man. In the time when this woman is being bashed, you had to say this, knowing you constantly humiliated her publicly since she was 18 years old. Why now? Why heap more fire on her reputation? Never ever choose a man over yourself. Now, this is what is really getting me upset, because people are now bringing their own love theory to this particular story. Say never choose a man over yourself. No one is indispensable. Gosh. So there are two sides to these things. Some people are bashing Two-Face Idibia, right? And then this particular person is saying, before you judge Two-Face Idibia, come and see history of some toxicity that Anne herself has displayed. You know, there have been so many rumors about her allegedly acting on some kind of influence that is not so proper based on society standards. I don't want to call the name, but I guess you understand. You know, you're seeing stories of her hitting her husband, also doing some things, and I'm like, is it that toxicity met toxicity and they jammed together and we're having this? So look at this story. Let's analyze. What do you think about this? And I really wanted us to discuss something about love in relationship, especially based on societal standards and setting. I was hearing this quote one time that says that love is never enough for a relationship. Let's start that discussion from that point. What do you think?
Love is never enough even for friendships.
I mean,
love is never enough when it comes to even your parents, because sometimes you see that your parents will just do something that you're going to be like, I should just say something, but then you just look at it that still these guys, it's not just the fact that you love them, it's now that these are the things that we have been through, these are the things that they have done for me, these are the sacrifices that they have made. So that's what you're going to think about before now taking a decision. But when it comes to whether love is enough, love is never enough. Your friend can piss you off to the point that you feel that you don't really even love this person to start with. But there are certain things that would have happened, moments, memories that would have happened that you'd have felt like, okay, regardless of what this happening right now, it's something that is still worth fighting for. Now, where I draw the line is how much fight can you really give to a certain relationship or to a certain friendship?
How much
or to a
fight
certain
can you give?
Person. What exactly, how long are you going to fight?
How far is too far?
How far is too far, exactly. So when I started hearing about Annie Idibia, it was from African Queen. And, you know, I was like, oh, she went from...
Such a pretty woman.
You know, she went from African Queen vixen to Baba's wife. And now
actress,
she's just...
producer, philanthropist.
Everything like that. So it was almost like, this is a perfect blend of I grew, you grew.
Right.
You get. But now... Looking at
some people have contentions about that statement of I grew, you grew. I mean, based on Anne and all of that. Because somebody was even saying that the fact that she's even on that reality show of young African and famous, that it doesn't really suit her, because you probably got whatever fame you have because of the marriage that you're in. And we've not seen any significant... I'm telling you what people are saying. And there's no significant thing like that. You used to be an actor, an actress on our TV screen. We've not seen many of your work. And it seems like some people are saying that her life was probably so shadowed under Two-Face. They've had comments of she has given a lot of sacrifices. She has given all her life. She has endured the baby mama.
She mentioned it in one of the videos that's trending online, where she said that as they grew, there were some sacrifices that she had to make, that there were cases where both of them had to be out of the house. And then she was trying to convince Two-Face that, you know, why don't you stay for the week while I go out? And then they're still back and forth. So she had to pause a lot of things that was happening in her life. Even as much as there was one magazine where Two-Face said she's finally getting the spotlight that she deserves. It's like after that time, nothing really happened. Again. So it's almost like she coming out to say that I made a lot of sacrifices for my family, you understand, for Two-Face to head on and be who he wants to be. Still, my husband only publicly said she's getting the spotlight she deserves. But this is family thing. And I can tell you that it happens a lot for women, not just even maybe marriages. For women, once you have a child, once you have
Your
a
life
family,
stops.
once you have it's not like stop, but then it pauses to the point where you have to now re-strategize. So if you had a 10-year plan in your head before, immediately a baby comes, you start to replan, like you have to arrange yourself in a way that it blends with a growing child. Immediately you get married, it's almost like you are moving from your father's house to the man's house. The man remains where he was. But you have to now go into that house. So your life somehow changes when you now go into family life. So she had so many things to say about, she had to sacrifice, she had to stay, she's a mother of 7 now, she cannot just make certain decisions. A lot of comments you'll see that she did not really make when Tubaba came out to say something about, in this life you cannot have one woman, this and that. And then she was going to come online to defend her husband and say, even as much as he said that. So that's why a lot of people are angry that, look at the person that you
let me ask God's this question. Let me direct it to you because I want to see how you can challenge this particular narrative. So in African setting, I think that love and relationship in African setting is different from the Western world. There's a way in fact, it's in Africa, I know that you don't just mention divorce like that. You whisper it. You don't, because the union is meant to be forever. So things like separation makes us agitated. We don't want to hear things like that. So you expect that you groom your family. That's why sometimes we've seen women endure abusive relationship, toxic relationship because I'm an African, I'm Christian, I'm religious, I ought not to just leave my husband. How will people see me? They'll think I'm not patient enough. A woman is supposed to be patient and enduring to take care and nurture her home.
Virtuous woman.
Virtuous woman, very good. Now, so that African setting also makes us glorify suffering in that sense. Because look at Idibias. The whole sacrifices mentioned. Even people that are supporting her are clamoring on that sacrifice. So it feels like she poured her whole life for this particular person. And we know that for love to actually thrive, sacrifices are essential. Of course. Let's answer that question of how far is too far when it comes to sacrifices for love. I mean, because there's a way we can look at this story and people who don't even believe in love at all, like this Diary of a Nigerian person, her conclusion was like, never ever choose a man over yourself, no one is indispensable. So you can see
what a person actually is saying is the truth.
Great, is the truth. Yes, but you know that sometimes wait, let me land my point. Let me land my point because I see truth like from two extremes.
No, you're not.
Do you get?
To,
I mean, I don't. That's how my brain is wired. I'm seeing here, so I will come at one center point. So we know that love also requires sacrifices. It requires commitment. It requires pouring in your all. And we have seen an example of someone who supposedly suffered sacrifice for love and it didn't end well. So how do we then describe or explain what sacrifices for love should be?
See, this is it here. Whatever sacrifices that you're making is supposed to be, at the end of the day, something that the both of you would benefit. Like, that's how I see it. I'm so sorry, but...
That means it's not sacrifice. No, sacrifice is not meant for two people to benefit.
Look at this. Look at what's going on with her, right? Now, at the end of the day, divorce has come. Something that I feel like she would have probably just done a long time ago. Do you get what I'm saying? In as much as, I mean, I also get the daddy style, daddy part, because literally that's one of the things that have made this story linger till today. Do you get what I'm saying? But the whole sacrifice thing, even the Bible tells you that love your neighbor as you love yourself. Yes, that is what the Bible said. So if you are not able to love yourself, tell me how you want to love another person.
So that means sacrifices.
So in as much as you're making sacrifices, it has to be something that, as is benefiting the other person, is going to benefit you as well. I get the point of, okay, you're an actress, and I mean, for whatsoever reason, I don't see a reason why you should not strive, you should not continue education or whatever because of the person that you are dating. The person, one of the reasons why you're actually in a relationship, right? You guys are married. It's so that everybody can actually carry the other person. Exactly. But in her case, she's actually down while the guy is up. It's not supposed to be like that. Because you guys are partners. You're supposed to be in the same level. Even if it's not 50-50, probably 60-40. There should be closure. This one is 20-80 or even 10-90. So what is the sacrifices you're calling or you're making? This is more like slavery or whatever. And I don't know. Again, it takes us back to the daddy issues. Because if she has actually had the whole love thing from the house, you will know that this person, again, is probably not good. Like, you cannot call. But do you get what I'm saying? No, honestly, that's what it is. right? But now that you see her now, we talk her saying that, oh, she's in rehab and all of these things. I don't want to really talk much about the whole drug setting, right? But you would definitely know that this person don't really, she's actually really F up with her mental health. It's not really stable, and that's why she has literally gotten to where she is today. The fact that she was also looking for love where there is actually no love. Exactly. And that's why she was making all of those sacrifices in order to keep somebody. You cannot keep a man. You cannot keep anybody for that matter. Whoever that doesn't want to be kept cannot be kept. That's what it is. So you're trying to keep somebody. You guys are not married. You already have 4 children outside. Your first daughter is his 5th child. Wake me up from the slumber. Honestly. Like, it's love.
Love don't cast it.
Love don't cast it. People should leave it for magics, please.
No, I feel like I wanted to quickly say something.
Tell me.
When God's Beauty was talking about maybe daddy issues,
that's what
I can tell you that there's some family that the husband and wife are together till now, and their kids still don't turn out well.
Of course.
And then this is because I want to say I want to say this, that
Tell me.
The fact that the man left and they're separated does not mean that that's why she turned out necessarily the way she did.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is that mommy, daddy can be together. And this woman that is even still with this man might have also stayed because of this societal issue. Of course. Where if you leave the man. So the girl too might have grown up knowing that, okay, as much as this man is even still around, he does not still love my mother. So even if she goes out, she's still going to end up looking for love where it does not exist. So it's not the fact that there's daddy issues that he left.
This is it here. The whole daddy issue is not about whether the father is present or not. But is he doing his fatherly duties? Do you understand what I'm saying? I remember saying on this table one time that a girl came out to say that the reason why any guy that comes around and she really doesn't feel if they go is because the first person that took her out is her father. The first date she went is her father. Anything she mentioned is her father. She already feels love. She's filled with love. Her love tank is filled. So tell me why such a person would actually look at another person and say that and not be able to distinguish, be able to know whether this person loves her or not. That is what I am saying. So it is not about the presence of the father. Yeah. It's about if that person is actually doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah,
so whether the father left or not, is not really the talk here. It is if the person was actually her mother that was there. How was her mother able to train all of them? I get it that it's not easy. We talk about single parenting and all of that. It's not easy. But how was she able to fill the tank of both, the father duties and the mother duties as well? That is something that we need that needs to be questioned. Because trust me, this kind of, the fact that you can see the trajectory and you see that, okay, a lot of things are actually missing. I'm sorry, but it's because of daddy issues. Like, that's what it is. You cannot actually change this.
But when you say it's daddy issues that did not allow her husband's family to like her, is it daddy issues?
That's another part.
Because if you look at all the things
that is why I usually do not like subscribing to daddy issues as reason for any bad character or
I'm
whatever.
sorry, but
if you look at the news,
it's a mental state, and you cannot take that out entirely.
Because the video we just watched, they were just saying 2021, Annie stabbed husband asleep, says brother-in-law.
Mother-in-law outside.
2030, this one said, this 2022. Everything has been reported by the husband's family, saying that this is what they felt about this person.
Right.
So even in the video where she was screaming, she was mentioning that these guys never really loved her. And then her family, you see that they were sort of in relegation like all along. There's no news of her saying that my sister did this to my husband or anything like that. So now people are now coming out to say, this lady has family. That's because if you look at all the news that has been happening, it has been because it's only from Two-Face family that this issue has been.
Yeah, so sorry to cut you short. We have a comment on our YouTube page directed at you guys, Beauty. Are you ready?
Okay, now. Let's get it.
The person says, Honor Godwin says, please help me ask God's Beauty, what are the sacrifices Annie made? Or choosing to marry someone who has 5 kids is a sacrifice? With an emoji that is angry.
I am so sorry, Godwin. But this is what I would say here. So I mean, if you look at the story, the fact that she actually got married to him, even with the fact that he already has kids outside, I would not say that is a sacrifice, right? I would say that that's because of she actually is looking for love where there's no love. That's it. But I mean, the sacrifices she has made is the fact that, you know, I mean, look at the fact that she was an actress. There are other things that she was doing, but somehow we really don't know much about that. The only part we now know is it is na two-face wife be this, na two baba wife be this. We keep hearing that. You get what I'm saying? And again, we don't know what happened, you know, at the back scene. We are not there. But I'm very sure that one of the reasons why she's still where she is, apart from the whole daddy issues and, you know, her mental state and all of that, I'm very sure that there are some other things that she must have actually done. You know, I mean, given that, honestly speaking, the fact that she's actually still there, even with the whole, you know, kids that he has, and the fact that we don't really know much about, you know, her career and all of that. I feel like that should actually be called sacrifice. Again, we don't know what's going back end, and that's all I will say. I hope I answer you. You're not
okay
angry.
with God being on that. But we like it when you come at us, so that we will know that you know that we're not just giving our opinions based on some. This is what we think, and you have your own right to not agree with that. So
that's what it is.
Back to what I was saying, something, but it seems like we changed that discussion. But let's see if we can wrap up with this. I was talking about how this Annie Idibias stuff, her career seemed to have been overshadowed because of the marital whatever with not whatever now her marital you know this thing with two-faced Idibias. So it seems like her potential was not really seen as such. Like she was not seen for herself.
Yes.
But if I think of Annie, I'm just thinking Idibia first off, like you mentioned, two-faced wife. And now people who are unmarried can see this as a reason to not rush into marriage yet until they are self-made.
That's what it is.
Right? Until they are self-made. So I want to ask, do you really agree with this claim? Because we might be trying to solve an issue and then we are now creating an extreme somewhere else where a woman feels like I can't get into any relationship until I've reached that alakija, that height. I'm very known and popular and all of this. Do you think that young women or young ladies should consider being, I'm talking self-made now, where you have a name, your life is very figured out, or do you think you can still actually grow with a man? Should we use this example?
This is it here. Now, one of the problems that Annie had was the fact that in as much as she was in this relationship and, you know, Two-Face was actually growing and all, she was not focused on herself as well, right? So a woman or a young person coming up and you're seeing probably a big person, let me not call names now, but you're seeing a big person, maybe this is Chike, I don't know why she came to head, but you probably, you know, Chike comes to you and they're like, oh, I like you and all of that. So in as much as you like the fact that, you know, you have the name now, I mean, you call Chike wife as well. What are those things? What are those purposes that you had right from when you were a baby, right? If you don't put those things into place, if you don't start working on yourself, you'll somehow just come back to this whole Annie case. Do you get what I'm saying? So in as much as you want to be with the big names, I'm not saying, I mean, what I'm just trying to say is it is important that you build a name for yourself. It's important
before
that
you get into a relationship. That's what you're
You don't need to be self-made.
to.
This is it here. There are two different things. You don't need to have all the money first before you get married. You first of all need to have a purpose. Where are you going to? Do you understand? I mean, what's your why? What do you want to do? Do you understand? Once you're able to get that figure out, then you can be with anybody and still continue on that. But when you are with somebody and you now keep all those dreams and aspiration and just keep it somewhere and say, oh, let's focus on this guy. That's where the problem is. So whether you want to, you don't need to be self-made to be with somebody, but you actually need to have a purpose and you need to be working towards it. So, I mean, whether the person comes or not, you know that you have a purpose and you're working towards it. I feel like that's how we should.
What's your thoughts on this, Okiki?
I'll quickly say that women generally should have purpose, direction.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that every time a man comes, he's coming to tarnish or destroy it. Sometimes the fact that you might not necessarily also communicate these goals to this person, so there's going to be an assumption that these things, you don't have these things. So then they might start pushing ideas into your head that, okay, since you don't want to do this, why don't you start maybe philanthropic work while you take care of the kids? There's still like a blend. So either way, it's not just a gender thing, like a women thing. If you meet a woman who is also self-made, if you come as a man, like this Vicky James thing that's happening, they'll still tell you that it's the man that it's the woman that married you. So different strokes for different folks.
People,
The point is, figure yourself out to the point where you are not self-sabotaging yourself or inflicting pain on the next person.
Exactly.
That's it.
And shine your eyes before you marry, my dearest people. All right, this is the most we can take for today's show. I'm sure you've learned one or two things. You've had our own opinion on this subject. Till tomorrow, when we're talking about our health and mental health. Stay sharp. Bye.
Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Prime Time. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?